So Gaijin finally decided to give Italy some attention, but in typical Gaijin fashion, when it comes to a minor nation, they only go about halfway. Gaijin decided to add the Ariete AMV, which in its current form is the first prototype of a new Ariete upgrade project. The new project entails pretty much just a upgraded engine, I believe some upgraded combat equipment, but the main thing that I'm going to be talking about today is the armor package upgrades to the Ariete AMV project. Firstly, I want to thank Nico, which is one of the wiki editors and participates on the forums a lot. Unfortunately, the main post about the AMV project was during like a dev server discussion, so after the update went live, it was all closed down, so I can't use the information anymore, unfortunately. So very little of it I do remember. I would have linked it to you, but I will link the Italian Discord regarding all of the discussions about Italian vehicles and forum topics in War Thunder. So most of you will be familiar with the standard production Ariete that we have in War Thunder, which has the ability to upgrade to the War Kit armor scheme, which is just purely a turret, front, and sides upgrade scheme, as well as the second researchable tank, which is the Ariete PSO, which features the basically urban survival kit equivalent for Italy that just has applique armors on the sides of the turret and the hull. Now, the Italians want to modernize the Ariete just a little bit to include both the War Kit and the PSO packages with the AMV engine, which is an upgraded 1500 horsepower MTCA engine versus I think the 1300 horsepower engine that's currently in the production Arietes. And to do that, the Italians have three prototypes, the PT-1, the PT-2, and the PT-3. In-game currently, we have the PT-1, which just features the basic armor layout of the Ariete with the new upgraded engine and actually the removal of side skirts to reduce weight, I guess. I don't know, Italy being weird. The PT-2 features the PSO kit as well as the upgraded optics. And then finally, we have the PT-3, which features both the PSO and the War Kit mounted on the tank to kind of get an idea to what the new engine does with the most weight added on possible. The PT-2 also is experimenting with some hull and turret improvements, although I would want to say that the values of which that those entail are not open to the public. One of the interesting things about the Arietes is that their armor is modeled as high hardness rolled armor. What that means for the in-game performance of the Ariete is that when penetrated, there's a lot less shrapnel being put around inside of the tank, which should hopefully save you from losing a crew member or two. However, we all know that the Ariete is by no means on par with a Challenger or an Abrams or a Leopard in terms of its armor layout and armor thickness. It's just one of those interesting things that allows the vehicle to stay in the fight, potentially. If you remember when the C1 Ariete was added, the first production one, you may remember that it had basically a blowout panel through the bottom of the tank. Now, I'm not sure if this is real and Gaijin got rid of it to balance the vehicle, because at one point the Ariete was the glass cannon of War Thunder. However, the moment they added the Leopard 2A6 and added DM53, it kind of lost the glass cannon status for tanks that now have far better ammunition. Now, the most important point about the AMV program is that as of December 26th or 27th of 2022, so right before the new year, the Italians decided that they wanted to test all three prototypes with the PSO and War Kit added to them. This means that the current prototype 1 that we have in game can mount the PSO and War Kit edition and should be featured in the modifications tab. For those of you that may be interested in the jet side of War Thunder, you may be aware that the Yak 141 is kind of an amalgamation of coulda, shoulda, wouldas. It features some things on the aircraft in game that it didn't actually ever have on it in real life that was planned to be on it. And Gaijin decided to add that anyways. I believe the one important thing was the IRST function. And there's a few other things. I believe how they have the R27s modeled where you can only mount 2 ERs for whatever reason. Just some very weird stuff like that. But my main point about this is that Gaijin once again is deciding to pick and choose who gets the coulda, shoulda, wouldas and who does not. Let's again consider that the Italians are planning to, if not already, have mounted PSO and War on all three prototypes. That actually has more credibility than the 141 having IRST, which it just did not have mounted IRL when they were testing the vehicle. Now, you may be wondering why all this information is kind of important in relation to the Arietes in game. This means that at a later date, Gaijin is going to add the PT-2 with the PSO and the War Kit combined. as well as it having DM53 ammunition, which I forgot to mention. All 3 production Arietis in the game, well, technically 2 in the prototype, you know what I mean, have DM53 now. However, they only kept CL3143 for the AMV, which is stupid. They originally made it sound like that they were going to have CL3143 be for all 3 of them. So just another weird change by Gaijin. Now the last thing is how the dynamic works for Italy at top tier, and currently, well, there's a lot of that going on. The automatic is still 11.0 now, and really doesn't deserve to be there. It also is limited to 12 darts, while the TWCS has an unlimited supply, but that's a topic for another day. Not going into that one. Gaijin, a couple patches ago, shadow nerfed the Mistral by adjusting the missile pod so that the Mistral Seeker Eye is now 5 degrees or so pointed down and is not automatically accounted for with the gun sight like it should. Now, the subsequent nerfing of the Tunguska to justify the addition of the Pantsir in terms of its missile performance means that if you are facing Russia, there's really nothing you can do about it, even with the Tornado with laser-guided bombs. Now, if you're playing with Russia, that means that you can utilize your allied Pantsirs to push enemy aircraft back into their own airspace, borderline to their spawn point, and they can help you dogfight in an F-104 by critically damaging the aircraft. Now, the mixed battles nature and a lot of the unbalanced coalition setups that I've experienced while playing Italy just make top tier kind of stale. I had a match where it was Italy and Germany versus America, Britain, Russia, Israel, France, and Japan. My favorite matchup was actually everybody but China versus just Russia. It was actually a pretty even match, and the Russians nearly won had it been for me and 1 or 2 others spawning in backup vehicles. Now, I obviously recommend getting the Ariete AMV just to have that extra vehicle, but I wouldn't even take it as my primary spawn. I would take the other 2 first and save the more mobile one for last, especially on domination when you have to run around between capture points. However, I am looking forward to the second prototype being added to the game with the upgrade package. I think they're just going to do it like they did the PSO, where it's forced to have the armor package. However, I feel like the PT1 should be able to mount it as a tier 4 mod. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a sub as well if you want to stick around. For those of you that know more on the topic, if there's anything that I got wrong or anything that I missed, feel free to leave it in the comments. And again, I will link the Italian Discord for anyone who wants to join. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm Steel, and I'll see you guys next time.